Genesis 50:15 to 26, New International Version. Joseph reassures his brothers. When Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, they said, "What if Joseph holds a grudge against us and pays us back for all the wrongs we did to him?" So they sent word to Joseph saying, "Your father left these instructions before he died. This is what you are to say to Joseph. I ask you to forgive your brothers the sins and the wrongs they committed in treating you so badly. Now please forgive the sins of the servants of the God of your father." When the message came to him, Joseph wept. His brothers then came and threw themselves down before him. "We are your slaves," they said. But Joseph said to them, "Don't be afraid. Am I in the place of God? You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. So then, don't be afraid. I will provide for you and your children." And he reassured them and spoke kindly to them. The death of Joseph. Joseph stayed in Egypt, along with all his father's family. He lived 110 years, and saw the third generation of Ephraim's children. Also the children of Machir, son of Manasseh, were placed at birth on Joseph's knees. Then Joseph said to his brothers, "I am about to die, but God will surely come to your aid and take you up out of this land to the land he promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." And Joseph made the Israelites swear an oath and said, "God will surely come to your aid, and then you must carry my bones up from this place." So Joseph died at the age of 110, and after they embalmed him, he was placed in a coffin in Egypt.
All right, turn to Genesis chapter 50, and we're going to look at just a few verses. The last part, and not even all of the verses that were read, but they're all crucial to the ending of the chapter, the ending of the book. How will you be remembered? Someday when your name is mentioned, what kind of images will come to their mind about the impact you've left on their lives? Things you've done, words you've said. How will I be remembered? When we think of Joseph, there's so many things we could think about. His coat of many colors, which later on was replaced by that Egyptian royal linen coat or robe. Becoming a slave in Egypt. Running from temptation from Potiphar's wife. Interpreting Pharaoh's dreams. Becoming the prime minister of Egypt. Forgiving his brothers. Being reunited with his father. There's so many things that stand out at us, to us, as we think about the story of Joseph. There are three things in the last part of this chapter that jump out at me. One I won't talk about. We made some mention of it last Sunday with the death of his father Jacob, desiring to go to the promised land. And we all have a promised land that we desire. We all desire to go to heaven as believers. But there's two other things that jump out at me as we come to the last part of Joseph's life. One is the whole area of forgiveness. The other is the whole understanding of the providence of God, the hand of God in our lives, and the fact that in the end, I think Joseph came to this conclusion: let God be God. I mean, he's God and we're not. So just let him be God in every situation of your life. Let's first of all look at the whole area of forgiveness. We see here forgiveness displayed. The problems that Joseph's brothers had with him was a problem that many of us have about forgiveness. And here are some problems of forgiveness. One is the difference between being forgiven and feeling forgiven. I am positive that Joseph's brothers had been forgiven by Joseph. That Joseph in his heart had forgiven them and reached out and had this close relationship with his brothers from his heart. Not just an outward show, but from his heart. He had forgiven them. They certainly didn't feel forgiven. They probably saw Joseph as they saw themselves. The Bible says, to the pure, all things are pure. But to the impure, all things are impure. See, that's the problem. We sometimes look at people's words, their actions through the prism of our eyes, our understanding, and we are suspect, even if their motives were pure. But because we may be impure, then we will somehow see impurity in their purity. And if things aren't right within ourselves, we certainly can't be right with others. I'll never forget, I must have been in my early 20s when I came across this one-liner from Tom Skinner. He said, the Bible says you're to love your neighbor as yourself. That's why I'm afraid of my neighbor. When you don't have a healthy view of yourself, you will not have a healthy relationship with other people. It all starts in here. That was the problem with the brothers. There was a problem on the inside. Because of the problem on the inside, they just didn't feel the forgiveness. There's another problem with forgiveness. That is the lack of assurance because of a lack of confession. If we don't feel forgiven, even though the other person may have forgiven us, it could be that we have lacked the discipline of true confession of sin. Their lack of assurance is directly related to the lack of confession of their sin. During the aging, the dying, the death, the burial of Jacob, their father, there seems to be a sense of solidarity. They're all together as a family, even with Joseph. All is going well. Everybody's getting along. Daddy's happy, so we're all happy. Joseph's happy, so we're all happy. Things are good. Then we read verse 15. And when Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, they said, what if Joseph holds a grudge against us and pays us back for all the wrongs we did to him? Guilt is driving their fears. Had they really confessed to Joseph? Had they really confessed to God? Was Joseph's smile just a veneer while Daddy was around, but now that Dad's gone, what will the real Joseph look like? So we read verse 16. So they sent word to Joseph saying, your father left these instructions before he died. This is what you're to say to Joseph. I ask you to forgive your brothers the sins and the wrongs they committed in treating you so badly. Now, please forgive the sins of the servants of the God of your father. And the message came to him, Joseph wept. I think he realized this was a lie. Their dad never said, oh, when I die, then you please go and ask for forgiveness. On the other hand, I think Joseph now sees that they are posturing for forgiveness because they never really asked for forgiveness. And that reality confronts them. Wow. Have I really, from my heart, made peace with my brother Joseph? I don't think they have. And now they're confronted with it. And it's interesting the words they use. And they talk about the sins, the wrongs, the treating you so badly. In the Hebrew, the words are evil, transgressions, and sin. And they're actually saying it right. It really was. It was an evil. It was a transgression. And they're not using euphemisms like, well, we had an error of judgment. We made a mistake. No. They say it as it is, as it was. I think they're posturing for their forgiveness because they never really had asked for his forgiveness. And so they felt vulnerable and were expecting the worst from Joseph. Joseph wanted them to have the assurance, but they had shortchanged themselves because they had never truly asked for their own personal forgiveness. There's a third problem we all have with forgiveness. But it's the lack of the understanding of forgiveness. See, they thought Joseph had forgiven them for their father's sake, for Jacob's sake. Well, Dad, he wants all his boys to get along. So they thought, well, that's why Joseph forgave. He forgave because that's what Dad wanted. That's not why we forgive. We forgive for God's sake. As God in Christ has forgiven you, that's how we forgive. But they thought once Jacob was gone, once their father was gone, their forgiveness was over. But Joseph had forgiven them for as long as God lives. And of course, that's forever. Because forgiveness is not based on the nature of the offender, but on the nature of the forgiver. They had come to grips with that teaching, that understanding of forgiveness. And it's interesting. That's part of the last words of Genesis, just reminding us of the importance and the nature of forgiveness. It could be that there's still some here this morning. You're struggling with not feeling forgiven. Look at those 3 points. Is there anything there that you can capture for yourself to make sure that your heart feels clean and feels right with other people, feels right with yourself, feels right with God? Then there is the motivations for forgiveness. Here's how Joseph responds. Verse 19, but Joseph said, don't be afraid, am I in the place of God? A believer cannot play God. It's not my responsibility or my right to be an instrument of judgment. That is God's area of jurisdiction. Ours is to extend mercy. The Bible says in 1 Thessalonians 5:15, make sure that nobody pays back wrong for wrong. But always try to be kind to each other and everyone else. Vengeance is not ours. God says, I will repay. I don't play God. Secondly, a believer believes in God's sovereignty. Verse 20. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. This is probably one of the greatest verses in the book of Genesis. It is this whole idea of the providence of God. And in a moment, we're going to take a closer look at the teaching, our understanding of the providence of God that is so clearly alluded to here and taught here in this verse. We just can't escape it. Joseph doesn't excuse their evil, but because of the sovereignty and the providence of God, he can forgive. Because he sees there's a greater cause at work. Why? Oswald Chambers said this, quote, God puts his saints where they will glorify him, and we are no judge at all where that might be. Where will God put me to glorify him? Some of those are not very pleasant situations, but it is in those times God says, I can be glorified by your reaction through this valley of the shadow of death or of deepest darkness. God puts his saints where they will glorify him, and we are no judge at all of where that might be. God had a place for Joseph, even in the middle of an evil scheme. God had a place and a plan all lined up for him. In the previous chapter, in Genesis chapter 45, verse 5 and verse 8, we read this. Joseph said, and now do not be distressed and do not be angry with yourselves for selling me here, because it was to save lives that God sent me ahead of you. And then verse 8, so then, another tremendous insight. It was not you who sent me here, but God. What a way to look at his slavery. What a way to look at how he was treated by his brothers and stripped of his coat, thrown into a dry cistern, and sold as a slave, and never to be thought of again. Wow. As Joseph looks at all those things, he says, you know what? I know you don't understand, but I see the hand of God in all those things. God holds the strings and steers the direction of my journey, even in the middle of an evil. Only God can do that. That leads me to I love one-liners. That leads me to this one-liner I've shared before, and I hope you will memorize it because it is so good. Now, it's not good because I made it up. I'm just a plagiarist. I just quote other people. God is so good at being God that he can hit bullseye with a crooked stick. I love that. That's one of my favorite sayings. God is so good at being God, he can hit bullseye with a crooked stick. He can take what someone else meant for evil and he can use it for my good and yours. Because he's God. That's why I let him be God in my life. He's so good at it. But he is. That's what he does. That's why, because he believed in the sovereignty of God. And thirdly, motivation for forgiveness is a believer must repay evil with good. Verse 21. So then, don't be afraid. I will provide for you and your children. And he reassured them and spoke kindly to them. This Christ-like attitude. Wow. I'll forgive you. I'll support you. I'll deal kindly with you. Doesn't that sound like Jesus, who said, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you? Forgiveness involves ministering to the person you forgave. Usually we want to forgive someone, but then keep an arm's length. Well, I forgave, but boy, I'll tell you, I'm getting near that one again. No. If you have forgiven and the barriers are removed, I can minister to. In fact, I am instructed by Jesus that as part of my forgiveness, I minister to the people who've done evil to me. That's letting God be God. Well, we've dealt with the area of forgiveness. There's one area I want to spend a few moments at, and that is the whole area of the providence. That providence that is declared here. I love the name providence, or word, because I attended Providence College. I attended Providence Seminary, so the word providence itself jumps out at me. I spent a lot of years there, and it's at that place where God shaped me and formed me for ministry to some extent. Providence is a big word. What in the world are we talking about? We talk about the providence of God. So here are some definitions. I couldn't stick with one because I thought one might resonate better with you than another. So here are some definitions of providence. First of all, God's gracious oversight of the universe. Now I like that because the word grace is in there. Oversight is there. And universe. In the providence of God, He graciously oversees everything. That's our God. Just in case that wasn't quite enough for you, I like this one. The means by which God directs all things toward a worthy purpose, which means that His will must finally prevail. All things towards a worthy purpose. That's the providence of God. Or simply the protective care of God. Or, like this one too, timely preparation for future eventualities. God is so good at being God. He will work out His purpose even through evil schemes. Eventually, it'll all end up as He will. That's the providence of God. The sphere of providence. First of all, God cares about the tiniest details of life. There is not a thing that is so small God doesn't take note of it. In fact, He highlights it by saying, I know every hair on your head. Well, I've lost a lot. You must know where they went. He knows. He knows when a sparrow dies. There's millions and millions of sparrows around the world. But He knows where every individual sparrow is. Nothing is too small for God. Nothing is too bad. He tracks the stars in the universe. I mean, there is not an area of existence in this universe we don't see the providence of God. And He cares. He cares about every detail of our lives. And that encourages me. That encourages me. Secondly, God uses everything and wastes nothing. God has a way of using things that later on we're like, oh, wow. You know what? That just brings a thought to me. This is amazing how God can use things to teach us, instruct us, redirect us, whatever. We never know what those little things will be sometimes, or the big things. But He wastes nothing. He is so good at being in charge of every little detail. He wastes nothing. And then thirdly, God's ultimate purpose is to shape His children into the image of Jesus Christ. If you look at your situation, you say, I can't think of one good thing coming out of this situation. We've all been there. We've all gone through things where we say or have said, I can't see anything good coming out of this. But Romans 8 tells us, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who've been called according to His purpose. And then later on, in the next verse, it says, to be conformed to the likeness of His Son. I look at various scenarios in my life that were not pleasant. Humanly speaking, I see nothing good what happened or what I had to go through. But when I step back and I see through the eyes of God, I can honestly say, even in the darkest moments, what God was doing is shaping me to become more like Jesus in those dark moments. But you can only say that if you're going to let God be God for every situation. There are some illustrations of providence that I want to share with you. As I look at Joseph's life and God's gracious oversight of everything, wasting nothing, using everything, here's some of the illustrations of providence in Joseph's life. At just the right time, they threw him into this cistern. At just the right moment, the Midianites came along so they could buy him. At just the right moment, he crossed Potiphar's path so Potiphar could buy him as a slave. At just the right moment, Potiphar's wife falsely accused him. At just the right moment, he met the baker and the cupbearer. At just the right moment, the cupbearer remembered Joseph. And at just the right moment, Pharaoh called for Joseph. And at just the right moment, he became the prime minister of Egypt. And at just the right moment, Jacob sent his sons to Egypt. And at just the right moment, the brothers met Joseph. At just the right moment, Jacob's family moved into Egypt. And at just the right moment, Pharaoh offered them the land of Goshen. And at the right moment, they settled and began to prosper. All of this happened at just the right moment, at just the right way, with the right people in the right place. That is the providence of God. God moving in the lives of His people. If that's true, here are some implications of the providence of God. 1, providence frees us from bitterness. To think that God allowed certain things to happen to me, and that in that He would shape something good for me out of that doesn't make sense, humanly speaking, but it works from a divine perspective, frees me from bitterness. Rather than being bitter against God, why did you allow this to happen? Why? When you trust in the care of God, it frees you from bitterness. And pointing a finger at God and simply causes you to open your hands to God. Providence frees us from bitterness. Secondly, providence gives us a new perspective of our difficulties. Where's all this going to end up? What's God doing? How long is this going to last? Oh, I'm sure Joseph had a lot of questions in his life. But throughout his journey, even when he was in jail, it says, and God prospered him, and God was with him. And as he saw through the eyes of God, it helped him to gain a new perspective. God is with me. They don't have God in their perspective. They don't have God with them in their circumstances. But I do. I have God with me. And thirdly, providence gives us courage to keep going in hard times. Hard times won't go away. God will always be there. I know we want the good life. We want a life with no difficulties. When we borrow money, we want to pay 1%. When we invest, we want a return of 20%. I mean, we know what the good life is supposed to look like. And things don't work that way. And things just don't turn out. It's like one obstacle after another after another. But I have the courage to keep going. Because God causes all things to work for good. They don't fall into place, but they work us into that place. God is using it to work in our lives. And so, knowing that God cares, and that He is noticing all the details, and that He will work out a good, it brings me encouragement, and it brings me courage. Lastly, it really forces me to make a choice by faith. This is a teaching that requires faith. Faith to believe that that's how I choose to look at God. That's how I choose to look at my circumstances. That's how I choose to look at my past. That's how I choose to look at my future. It becomes a choice. And if we just went by feelings, we'd be a rotten bunch. But we make a choice because we know something better lies ahead because we have a good God. God's at work. It takes a choice to make that. That brings me to that question. I was going to ask the question, can you trust God with the details of your life? And as I thought about it, I thought, that's not quite how I should ask that question. So I grappled with it till I realized the question isn't, can I trust God? The question is, will I trust God? Oh, I can. But the question is, will I? And so my question to all of you, to myself, at this moment, is whatever I am facing right now in my life, will I choose to trust God with the details of my life? It's a matter of the will. It's a matter of a choice. Don't go by feelings. Let God be God. There's an old proverb that says, the same sun that hardens the clay melts the wax. That's true in life experience. Some become grim, others become gracious. Some become rigid and resentful, others become resilient and refreshed. It's not so much what happens to us, but what happens in us. And what happens in us is the key to what will happen through us. Will I become weary? Or will I become wise? As we come to the end of Joseph's life, we come to the end of this Joseph series. May we continue to be in awe of the ways of God, of the hand of God, of the heart of God, and live triumphantly and trust in God. What kept Joseph from packing it in, forgiving him, when so many odds were against him? He just let God be God. He couldn't see the hand of God in his life. He still trusted the heart of God. I want to close with an illustration. Usually I have about 10 or 15 minutes of so what And of your closing observations, I'm just going to close with an illustration this time and just let it speak for itself. Happened in 1977. There was a dam that suddenly broke in Georgia. A torrent of water went sweeping down from that dam. It tore to pieces one of the communities below it, and that community was Toccoa Falls. It happened to be the site of a Bible college owned by the Alliance Church. 39 people were killed. School was destroyed. Many of the people killed were children. It was a devastating event. Immediately, federal and state authorities responded. They sent in 3 kinds of workers: social workers, financial advisors, and psychologists to try to deal with the trauma of the loss and the tragedy. And the Alliance Church community told the psychologists to go home. They were very firm but very polite and said that they were not needed. But some of the psychologists stayed on it anyway, watched, and wrote this report. Now, this is a government report written by a man who's not a believer, but he's one of the psychologists that watched this Christian community go through this trauma. Here are some of the statements. Quote, "These people were in better mental health than the other communities we studied, who for the most part were not hit nearly as hard. Their very strong religious commitment gave them an understanding and explanation for what happened, which the people in other communities didn't have. As the college buried its dead, the survivors expressed faith that the tragedy was somehow part of a, quote, divine plan. One student put it like this: things happen for a purpose. And had God wanted that dam to hold, he could have used a band-aid. This faith allowed the Toccoa survivors to avoid the hostility felt by most victims of natural disasters. They were far easier to deal with than those of other communities. They were helpful, they were friendly, and they were less hostile. Toccoa Falls College is in good psychological shape." And as a result of that, the recommendation of that psychology was, quote, a psychologist was, quote, "We have to totally rethink natural disasters because people who have a deep faith in God respond entirely differently than other people do. Isn't it good when an unbeliever sees what we have always known? That God can make a difference. The question isn't can he, but will we allow him to? Will I trust God with the details of my life and just let God be God? Let's pray. Father, thank you for the many lessons that we have learned from the life of Joseph. So many times we've just seen ourselves in the story. Everyone here has a story. We've had reasons to feel disappointed and discouraged and down. But thank you for the many who called up to you and experienced your nearness, your comfort, your guiding hand. This week, even today. Lord, help us be honest with where we are in life. Is Jesus truly Lord of my life? Is he my master? Am I allowing him to work the good in my life that doesn't feel so good right now? While I truly let God be God. So, Lord, Thank you that you have chosen to work graciously. I pray for your providence over this church, over our families, over individuals, that everyone in a fresh way will see the gracious